Hello and welcome, my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in Sagittarius, your new moon of the year, November into December 2020. I am your reader. Mark Angela Lyons, Malfor Short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of During the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angela Lyons, but you can call me now. Hi, my subscribers, my friends. Mal Flanders, if you're watching, because you probably are. Hey, my partner in crime, well, my partner in podcast at least. And to all of my Sagittarians out there, welcome back. Thank you so much, my subscribers, for your love, your support. You know, every time you hit a like, an angel gets its wings. Every time you like one of my videos, an angels get, that's probably not true. But every time you do like the video, someone else gets to see it, essentially, is how it works. I'm learning, so please, even though you're going to subscribe, please do like. Just helps people get my work out there. Really appreciate it. Not to mention the comments and your shares. So many of you are sharing my work. I'm so very, truly appreciative. And if you are new to my channel and feel like helping me on my YouTube journey as a reader and a spiritual teacher, please do consider liking, subscribing, all the YouTubey things, commenting, sharing, whatever trips your trigger, your Sages, your fun. I have always had Sagittarian friends in my life, I am pretty sure, because I get along with them exceedingly well with my Leo rising. So let's get up in this gig, shall we? What we are doing here is not a timeless read. This is very much a timed read. It's a what do I need read. 7-card draw, 7 cards, 1 card from 7 different decks, 3 healing systems, 2 oracles, and 2 tarot decks. Clues, tips, and hints about what you need to address, look at, deal with during a waning moon this time. The full moon in Gemini on the 30th of November, 4:30 a.m. You can certainly get your full moon stuff done before that, maybe even the night before. I think we're going to be doing something here on Sunday night anyway, because it's a full moon on Monday, leading to a new moon on Monday. Nick Rhodes, can you hear me? Can you feel me? Nick Rhodes, right? The 14th of December, but it's at 11:17 a.m. This is all Eastern time. I'm in New York. And it goes void, of course, the same moment it goes new. So there's like no new moon magic in Sagittarius this time. But if you wait until 10:35 p.m. Eastern, you can do your new moon stuff in Capricorn. Just saying. Because I keep an eye on lunar tides. I'm a Pisces moon, so it's just better that I keep an eye on the lunar tides for all of us, shouldn't I? So that being said, please do remember this is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Really feel it out, not just what your mind is telling you about it and what you think it means. Really tune in deep for this stuff, because a waning moon is tricky. It's about releasing and letting go, right? Forgiving, alchemizing, lead to gold. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold, right, on the periodic table. So think of how that is transformed, burned off. It's all waning moon stuff. To go from an insulator like lead to a conductor like gold. It's just really good symbolism for alchemy and healing and transformation during this time where everything is in the crucible, right? Planet Earth itself is the crucible. So let's get up in this gig. Focus on your breath. I will do the same to bring you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can for my Sagittarians, my Sagittarian cakes. I love you guys so much. Breathe. All the decks are in the bottom of the description box, right? I've got links for all of them there if you want to check them out and look deeper, give credit where credit is due. Otherwise, my guides are ready. My pantheons of the divine. Here we go. You big 9th housers. Breathe. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, using the Caroline Myss archetype deck, 1 card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs from this full moon in Gemini to their new moon for the year in Sagittarius, November into December 2020. What is the dominant archetype? The dominant soul pattern being alchemized for them this full moon to new moon next November, December 2020 in themselves, and another, in a situation, and some of that, and all of that. What is the archetype they need to alchemize? The wounded child. I swear to you, Scorpio just got this, right? It's come up a bunch of times. Even people have commented in the past month or so how often the wounded child archetype hits the table, considering how thick this deck is, right? So, but now I'll say to you, I mean, you might want to check out in case I say it a little differently in the Scorpio read, unless you've already watched it. The thing about the wounded child archetype is everybody has the child archetype, but not everybody has the wounded child archetype. The child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute are what are called the four archetypes of the survival family of archetypes. So everybody has them, and it's not what you think. When I say victim, victim is the lead side, victor, like victory, is the gold, right? The saboteur is the lead, the empowerer is what I call the gold or the light side of that. And the prostitute, which really is not about selling your body for money as much as it is about compromising your self-esteem, your honor, your integrity for comfort, right? So instead of taking the risk, you sell out, right? And that takes a billion different forms. And it's all how we learn how to survive in this world, just like a child will learn from where it grew up and who it grew up with. It's tricky, right? And if you look at what's going on planet Earth right now, how we're all like wounded children, considering that the child archetype is the guardian of safety and innocence. Because if a child feels safe, I said this in the Scorpio video, if a child feels safe, it's up for everything. It sees the world with fresh eyes. It's like, oh, what's this? Oh, a pit viper. Hi, right? You know, no idea. But if a child doesn't feel safe, take him to the happiest place on Earth. To me, Bergdorf Goodman's, but you know, whatever. You pick your poison, right? If it does not feel safe, it will cower, it will hide, it will not want to go even to its favorite place on Earth. So the shadow attribute, the lead aspect here, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. And so that's the thing. The moving on through forgiveness is a lesson that we learn to take ability of our own responses, right? Our ability to respond. Yes, you're going to react, but can you be on the healing path of forgiveness? And that's the light side of it. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, which sometimes you don't even realize you're serving other wounded children until you see their wounds. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. And I said this in the Scorpio one as well. The Course in Miracles says, when you boil it all down, every lesson is a forgiveness lesson because we are divine. We are not bodies. We are not the roles we play in this world, but it's all for the development of the soul. So can you innocently be willing to open the path of forgiveness? And by the way, as I said in the Scorpio reading as well, I'll stop saying that now. You get the point. This could be you. This could be somebody else. This could be a situation that you're dealing with. Like, look at how many organizations are trying to, like, good God, if I don't want to get political, but let's just say children who've been estranged from their parents, right? Like, how many wounded children, and in an adult form, let alone, right? Let alone literal form, right? So you could be dealing with this in so many different ways. Oh, they just sailed a word past my third. I was at, like, organizationally, right? Like, you know, organizations to, like, feed the children. Well, it's kind of a different archetype, but the wounded child. Obviously, if the child is the guardian of safety, 2020 has kicked the crap out of our inner child if they felt wounded to begin with, right? Not feeling safe. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. What is the healing angel you need to call upon to help heal that? Again, or another, or a situation, or all of that in a side of fries. Breathe. Little wounded, happy meal. I was raised by very dark, funny, sarcastic people, so my wounded child is just salty as fuck, and I love him for it. Breathe. Yes, my angels of fire in the sign of Sagittarius, my Michaelites, my beloved legions of Archangel Michael, please one card in clarity. What is the healing angel that the Sagittarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs most needs to call upon to help them heal this wounded child? Dealio, going on in their energy field this full moon in Gemini to new moon next, their new moon in Sagittarius, December 2020, balance. Now, what would the healing angel of balance do, right? It would help you get into balance in terms of your health. But here, like a wounded child, I mean, I know a lot of adult wounded children who are very good at taking care of themselves, let's say physically, but emotionally, maybe not so much, right? But if you are dealing with another wounded child, again, reason, season, or lifetime, whatever form it comes in, then to keep you balanced, right? To keep you so that your cup is being refilled as you go, right? They're giving me images of cups refilling themselves as soon as you drink them. It's from a movie. I don't know which one, or a TV show or something. I don't remember which one it is, but I get the image. Definitely a sci-fi fantasy, something or other. So this thing of really you need to call upon the healing angel of balance, because what would it do, right? It would point you in directions to bring you into balance, perhaps taking care of your own, because everybody's got an inner child, wounded or otherwise, right? There's the magical child, the orphan child, the nature child, the on and on and on and on and on. The divine child, the eternal child, the wounded child in particular, your inner child, even if you don't have that archetype unto yourself, the wounded child, your other children will have sympathy for it, hopefully. Depends. I guess that all definitely depends on who you are and how the state of your child, lead or gold, right? I always said, if you wanted to take the child archetype and make it really easy from light to gold, from light to shadow, from gold to lead, it's like the Dalai Lama and Pee Wee Herman, right? It's like you get the spectrum. Breathe. Daughters of the Moon Tarot, please, my goddesses, one card in clarity, the divine yin, the sacred yin, one card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is it that they need to be aware of inside of themselves? Heart, throat, third eye, crown, their own psychological schemata, their own interior energy field, their own interior personal level of power. Considering you've got the wounded child archetype here and the healing angel of balance, what do they need to be aware of and address within themselves? Really good. Three of Pentacles. So you are formulating, building a solid foundation within yourself. Now, to see an earth card on the inside does not talk about bodily organs necessarily, maybe for some of you, but this is about mutable earth. Clay woman takes the dirt beneath her feet and sculpts it into something beautiful and practical, but at this stage it has not gone into the kiln, it has not gone into the fire, so it is still very much malleable and mutable. Mutable earth, which is Virgo, and I would know because I'm a Virgo, right? So you could say creativity, but in tarot, creativity tends more to be element of fire for me. This is element of earth. You might be formulating something inside of yourself, right? As well as that could be your child wanting, formulating, feeling its own healing thing. Because remember, balance can be physical, right? Physical balance, and I just don't mean in terms of equilibrium, but in terms of give and take, right? About in terms of self-care versus, right? Like if you're dealing with a lot of wounded children in your life, regardless of age, right? Regardless of the type of wound, there definitely feels like, okay, well, I need my own solid foundation here. Right? It's a what do I need read. So to give yourself that support and maybe do the inner child work isn't all about the wounded child though, mind you. There is that magical child that you can converse with, which has the most ingenious ideas. Matt Kahn, he's the last card down in the reading, he usually is, with What Do I Need reads. He said that the child in our heart, the innocence of our heart, holds the keys to our success, it holds the seeds to the higher self and physical embodiment. Yeah, so inner child work is not a healing technique, it's a relationship. Deeper part of yourself, right? Good. Mythic Tarot. What's this look like on the outside that you need? Or what do you need to know with all of this in the Yang Force, right? Still think it sounds like Voltron. Go Yin Force, go Yang Force. Watch, it'll come out. They'll do it. The Tao Force. Breathe. That's TAO, not DOW. We're not talking about a chemical company. Ugh. Breathe. Oh, my gods of fire, and Sagittarius, Zeus in particular, who sits solo in the throne of Sagittarius for me, my king. All Father, Zeus, please, one card in clarity for this Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, what is it they need to be aware of outside of themselves with this wounded child archetype and their healing angel of balance they need to call upon, and this Three of Pentacles that they need to engage, and I can feel that, not just be aware of, but engage with inside of themselves. This full moon to new moon next. What do they need to be aware of on the outside? This full moon in Gemini to new moon next, and their new moon. Like, so this is big preparation for like something, whether it's their birthday or not, you know, sun sign or not. What do they need to be aware of on the outside? This full moon to new moon next. Seven of Cups. You got lots of options and choices here, right? So you put that together with the Three of Pentacles. So there is this, I wanna, but that's element of fire. This is, well, if I can move this and I feel this and I do this, almost like I want to say a strategizing, but not mentally. Feeling it out viscerally for yourself while you look at all of those different options and choices. And yes, some of them are dreams, but sometimes dreams come true. It's kind of Sagittarian's bailiwick. Sometimes more the fairy godmother than the Cinderella, although I know Sagittarians that are both simultaneously. This is really looking at, like, are there fantasies going on? Are there illusions going on? Regardless, you have options. Some that are very, I feel like this is a challenge to your intuition, because children, see, what I find is when people don't trust their intuition, it's because they trusted it once and they didn't get what they wanted, but their soul got what they needed, and therefore they might have an intuitive wound, right? I felt to trust that person and they betrayed me, and yet that betrayal was scripted into this life before you were chosen as a soul to play the role. Right? I mean, you know, you guys, your ninth house spirituality, expansive thinking, Jupiter, it's like that's really seeing things from the soul's perspective. That's really seeing the quantum hologram of life on planet Earth as it is, and that all quantum probabilities play themselves out. Why did I play that one out? Well, let me not look for a reason, because that's a human thing. Let me look for purpose. How much have I grown, healed? Is this all about childhood stuff, me or somebody else? Because, again, it's a general read. Well, we got 4 cards on the table. I think we're humming along rather nicely, actually. So let's keep going. Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, Voices of the Higher, Voices of the Ascended Masters. They get a double click on this one. They get the Healing Mantra deck too at the end. There are 4 suits here: luck, healing, grace, and the problem. Which one do you need to be aware of and cope with? Breathe. That feels nice. My Ascended Masters. Please, 1 card in clarity for the Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This full moon in Gemini to their new moon in Sagittarius, December into November 2020. What is the piece of luck that they are unaware of that they need to see? What is the piece of healing that they are unaware of that they need to acknowledge and implement? What is the piece perhaps of grace that is permeating this entire energy field that they need to be aware of and flow with? Or what is the piece of the problem that they need to address, look at, and possibly take action on this full moon to new moon next, November into December 2020? Have you been throwing saints into the sea? Jealousy. That was so cute. If he wore a little bit more eyeliner, I'd marry him. Except I understand he's straight. Little Jack Daniels goes a long way. It's horrible. Jealousy. Now, the reason why I picked up the Wounded Child card, because a wounded child can be very, very jealous. In fact, what if that, particularly, you know what's funny is the Seven of Cups and the Daughters of the Moon Tarot is called jealousy. So that's interesting. Just remembered that out of nowhere as if by chance. You know, but maybe that's your signal. See, I don't think jealousy needs to be avoided. I think jealousy needs to be acknowledged and respected. There's a child inside of you that's saying, when the fuck is it my turn? How come they get to do that? How come they get to do that? Which can lead to feelings of unworthiness, and we repress that by what? Feeling jealous. Now, jealous is a little different than envy. A little bit, and I would say by degree. It's a difference of degrees. Envy is a deadly sin. The Deadly Sin of the Third Eye, Read, Defy Gravity by Carolyn, Read, Defy Gravity by Carolyn Myss. Carolyn Myss archetype cards, right? So it is healed by the grace of knowledge and the grace of clarity to see things through clear eyes. If you are dealing with jealousy from another person, just know it's their wounded child. They can't stop themselves unless they're aware that they're being possessed by their shadow child, right? Blaming everything on childhood, right? And refusing to forgive, because who they're really mad at is back there, right? So if you have something that they were betrayed or hurt or wounded about, they're going to be jealous, and they can't help it. It has nothing to do with you. 4 agreements, Don McGill-Ruiz. Don't take anything personally. How dare you? Be impeccable with your word. Yeah, fuck these. Make no assumptions. What do you mean by that? Stop. Right? Keep your sense of humor about this, though, because you do have options. You do have options, and you do have creativity here. So you don't have to play the game, but you can do it from a compassionate place without opening your mouth about it and saying, well, you're just a wounded child. I thought it was so helpful, although I've done it. I've certainly lowered that particular archetypal boom on people when needed. Snap out of it, or give a nice moonstruck across the face. Okay, jealousy. It's a problem. Let's see what the higher selves have to say. The higher selves, 5th dimension and above. Breathe. Higher selves of all involved. Please, 1 card in clarity. Yeah, they are saying loud and clear. It's like with jealousy. If jealousy pops up in you, talk to the child of your heart. Let it speak. Just don't let it speak to other people right away, right? Let it love that child. It's gonna rage. It's totally element of fire, right? It totally is that burning jealousy. So please, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above. Whispers of Love Oracle. What is the whisper of love? The piece of information, inspiration, or insight that they need this full moon in Gemini to their new moon in Sagittarius, November, December 2020. Please just leave the card right in my hand. Rest and relaxation is essential. Oh my God, just like with the little kid when they're all inflamed and tired and tantruming and just wanting to pee in their own Cheerios, let alone everybody else's, right? Rest and relaxation is essential, not just necessary, essential like air. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. Now, this could also be if you are dealing with a wounded child. Oh, the stories I could tell. Ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Oh, sorry. Katya Zamolodchikova, the drag queen, not the gymnast, just tweeted something and it popped up as a notification. I'm like, why is Katya? Oh. And she needs to take rest too. And she would tell you, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Maybe. Yeah, so just like a child, you need a timeout. They need a timeout, you need a timeout. I just kicked the tripod, but it seems like it's okay. Is it a better angle? I can't be filmed badly. Yes, I can. I have proof. No, rest, chill. If you need to get away from somebody who's toxic right now, look, here's my boundary. My guides spoke this to me like, oh my God, is this 10 years maybe? They said, here's your boundary. If someone is willing to heal, to grow, to learn, to become the best that they can be, do everything that you can to help them. But unapologetic toxicity, walk. Walk away. Walk away, because there's nothing you can do to help somebody when the doors are shut, right? And that's not being cruel. That is being compassionate. That's saying you need space. Fuck. I need space, right? I need space from this. So whether you're feeling the jealousy or someone else is, know that it is a result of a wound from childhood. How personally do you want to take that, really? Right? It's a forgiveness lesson. How personally do you want to take someone else's forgiveness lesson if it's coming at you, right? But if it's you will feel better once you get the rest you need. Trust and believe. In fact, that's one of the mantras. And it's dissolving sadness. I think I will feel better once I get the rest I need. And this deck, it would be funny if it popped out. I wouldn't be shocked at all. The Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. The Ascended Masters who gave us this jealousy card. I would think, being that all of these cards are connected, let's see what your perfect mantra is. Breathe. Yes. The Ascended Masters, my Ascended Masters, please, 1 card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is their perfect healing mantra for this full moon in Gemini to new moon next in their their new moon for the year, new moon in Sagittarius, please. We've got they need to deal with the wounded child in themselves, someone else, as we said, it could even be an organization. By calling on the healing angel of balance, the alchemical balance, like even to get that wounded child 50% lead, 50% gold is not a bad idea. Because then it's just a simple tipping point, right? 1% either way. And they've got the Three of Pentacles, and it's like I feel like they have that foundation inside of them, whether that is psychological, something maybe even like a spiritual mutable practice that's going on inside of them, like even if it's like yoga or breath work or something more tai chi, something more physical, even working out, but something that's therapeutic, stabilizing inside, though not fixed, right? It hasn't been put in the fire yet. But that's Seven of Cups, that they've got these options, and there could be confusion and dreams and illusions. And a Seven of Masters, you gave them the card of jealousy. If that's within themselves, that would make sense with that Seven of Cups, because they may not be seeing things clearly, but I also kind of get this could be coming at them, and it doesn't have to be either or. Both can be true. Jealousy can be on both sides. So the higher selves with rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. What is their healing mantra, please, my Ascended Masters, for my Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign friends, this full moon to new moon next? Anchoring the light, right up your alley. The light is always within me. The light is always within me, and honestly, whether the wounded child archetype is yours or someone else's, this one will help. It's very simple, but like the wording is simple. Let me read it. The light is always within me. When you anchor the light, you are accepting the infinite life force of the universe as your guardian, navigator, and companion. Like the guardian, navigator, and companion of the child within your heart. As you anchor the light, you are no longer a person trying to find the deeper meaning of connection in 2020. Instead, you know yourself to be a living expression of connection, simply appearing in human form. You are the light. Now I'll read this last bit and then I'll give you my own take on this. This mantra is ideal for overcoming fear, reducing cravings, and making important life decisions. See, if the child doesn't feel safe, it's going to retreat anyway. Even if it's supposed to take a step forward, it's not going to want to forgive, particularly if your version of forgiveness is very Newtonian based, where subject and object never interrelate. Well, they interrelate, but they're not connected. Where in the quantum, all forgiveness is self-forgiveness, right? So it does take the innocence of a child sometimes to even be willing to balance that scale, right? So, of course, we are all one life force, one light, right? It is, where'd you go, right? The light is always within me. So the light is also within whoever this wounded child is. Again, whether it's you or them, in other words, there's a soul contract in play here. But is it twin flame, where you teach each other how to heal yourselves, which sounds good on paper, but it's turbulent and traumatic. It's very twin flamey. Or is it soulmate, where you help each other heal? Or is it just that you say, look, we need to rest. We need to rest. We can bring this. We're going to do the healing work for you, obviously, get yourself in balance here. And that's just going to make all the difference in the world. Like I said to somebody, as you step through the crucible, everyone else in your family or that you deal with will come along with you or they won't. But most of the time, when you bust a move of real, true, heart-centered empowerment, catch this. That's loving, wise, and powerful, the choice, the decision. People tend to wake up and come along. Tend to. Not always so much. Depends, right? Well, we've got our 7 cards on the table here. So let me put it together for you in a blessing, as I so very much enjoy doing. Take a nice deep breath. May the Sagittarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need this full moon in Gemini to their new moon next in Sagittarius, that they may anchor the light, understanding that the light is always within them. As they take the rest and relaxation that they need, because they have a fundamental need to take breaks, to deal with the jealousy within them, around them, or otherwise, while they stabilize their foundation within them in some way, shape, or form, alchemizing the wounded child within themselves, or another, probably by working with their own inner child, calling upon the angel of balance to bring balance to themselves and this contract, this relationship, whatever this situation is, while they can more clearly consider their options more through the intuitive lens of feelings rather than other emotions that may be clouding or obscuring how many choices they actually have, how many options are actually available to them that are healthy, happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. That was a really good prayer. That was a good blessing. You might want to play that one back. Write that one down. That was a good one. I like doing that, shuffling the cards and then building the prayer. I have the Grace of Prayer. Oh, wait till my book, Words of Grace, comes out in Kindle next year. Unless we get it out by December. I doubt it, though. We'll see. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this all. Yes, please like, subscribe. If something clicked here, help. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Comment, share it. Yay! Have a field day with it, my Saggies. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this full moon in Gemini to your new moon in Sagittarians. My Sagittariuses, I love you so very much. My archers, my centaurs, my centaurs. Hal, farewell, and blessed be.